Breakups are hard, there's no denying that. But what if I told you there are certain things you can do that make him feel the breakup 10 times harder? I'm not talking about playing games or seeking revenge. I'm talking about subtle, powerful actions that leave a lasting impression, make him reflect, and realize what he's lost. Hi, it's Vernon. In today's video, we're going to dive into the 5 things that will have the biggest emotional impact. And trust me, these aren't the moves most people think about. If you want him to truly feel your absence and understand your worth, stay tuned, because what I'm about to share could completely change the way breakups play out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip that could empower your relationships and personal growth. Let's start with the very first thing that makes him feel this breakup 10 times harder.
Number 1. The silent mirror, reflecting absence. After the breakup, there's often a reflex, a tug toward visibility, texting just to check in, accidentally liking a photo, lingering in places he might see you. One of the most powerful ways to make him truly feel the breakup is through what I call the silent mirror, showing your absence without drama or desperation. It's not about ignoring him to be petty or playing games. It's about quietly stepping back, living your life fully, and letting him witness the gap you leave behind. Absence, when paired with dignity and self-respect, becomes a mirror. He sees what he had, what he took for granted, and the value of the connection he lost. But silence is not emptiness. It's presence in another form. You see, when you step back, truly step back, you create a mirror. And in that mirror, he doesn't see you, he sees the absence of you. Your laughter missing from his mornings, your rhythm no longer anchoring his day, your insight, your patience, your smile, all gone. Focus your energy on building a life that feels full and meaningful without him. Invest in personal growth, whether that's learning a new skill, hitting the gym, reading, or exploring passions you'd previously put aside. Reconnect with friends you may have neglected and create new memories that make your world richer and more vibrant. Share glimpses of this life on social media, but do so subtly, as if you're celebrating your own journey, not trying to provoke or message him indirectly. When he reaches out, respond politely and briefly, showing courtesy without opening the door to extended conversations or emotional chasing. The key is consistent, calm absence. You're present in your own life and in his life only on your terms. Over time, this pattern sends a powerful, unspoken message. You're thriving independently. Your happiness isn't tied to him, and your presence in his life is no longer a given. It creates a mirror effect. He begins to notice your independence, the life he's no longer a part of, and the emotional weight of the breakup hits him far deeper than words or confrontation could ever create. In other words, your self-respect becomes the most potent message, and the tension it produces is the catalyst for him to truly feel the impact of losing you. What you do with your life during that silence, how you show up for you, becomes the second part of this deeper strategy. Because next, we'll explore how crafting a life that's richer, fuller, and unapologetically yours can shift the entire emotional equation. Number 2. Your life as a tapestry, not an echo. Many women unconsciously shift their focus outward. They wonder if he's watching, if he's lurking, if their latest post might make him pause. It's a natural response to seek validation through the absence. But here's a truth that few talk about. Constantly measuring your value through his attention keeps you tethered to a version of yourself that no longer exists. You become a quiet echo of the relationship instead of the author of your next chapter. But what if you stopped asking, "Is he thinking about me?" and started asking, "What do I want to feel today?" Because the real shift begins when you stop orbiting around his silence and start filling your own space. Your life is not a void he left behind. It's a tapestry that you continue to weave. My friend Marianne, a woman who had been married for 26 years, never tried to prove her worth after the split. She didn't rush to reinvent herself on social media, nor did she make dramatic changes to catch anyone's attention. Instead, she began with one quiet decision. She signed up for a ceramics class. The act of shaping clay became more than a hobby. It became a daily reminder that she was still forming, still creating, still capable of building something new with her own hands. Over time, that one choice rippled into a completely different rhythm of life. She reconnected with old friends, explored local art festivals, and even traveled solo for the first time in decades. None of it was about proving anything to her ex. It was about coming home to herself. This is what it means to live as a tapestry, to recognize that your life is layered with color, texture, growth, and story. A breakup doesn't unravel you. It just gives you new space on the canvas. When he eventually sees this, whether through a photo, a mutual friend, or a quiet memory, he won't just notice that you're gone. He'll realize that your world kept expanding without him in it. And yes, share glimpses of that new rhythm if you'd like, but not to spark curiosity or regret. Share them because your joy is real and it deserves to be seen, even if no one is watching. The difference is subtle but powerful. Echoes seek attention. Tapestries don't need it. Your power lies not in how you're perceived, but in how you genuinely live. And when he does notice, and he will, it won't be because you chased that moment. It'll be because you stopped needing it. What part of your tapestry are you weaving right now? A new routine? A creative spark? A peaceful silence? Let me know in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to start weaving their own. As your life takes on new depth and color, you'll find that even your smallest decisions, how you respond, how you give, how you hold space, begin to carry quiet power. We'll talk about generosity, not as a gift to him, but as a powerful reflection of who you are becoming.
There's a kind of strength that doesn't show itself in grand gestures or bold declarations, but in quiet choices that reveal who you are, even when no one's looking. After a breakup, it's easy to believe you have to shut down, close off, become impenetrable. The world often tells women, don't give him anything, don't show kindness, make him pay for the pain. But real power, the kind that lingers, isn't rooted in revenge. It's rooted in restraint. That's the quiet kind of generosity I'm speaking about. You don't have to perform forgiveness. You don't have to force grace.
But when you stop trying to control how he feels, when you stop weaponizing your silence or your success, something remarkable happens. You reclaim your emotional freedom. And in doing so, you shift the dynamic entirely. You're not trying to make him feel bad. You're not hoping he notices how mature or kind you are. You're simply being consistent with who you've always been, thoughtful, grounded, whole. This might look like sending a polite thank you for something practical he helped with, and then moving on. It might mean wishing him well silently in your heart, not because he deserves it, but because you deserve peace. When you show strength through stillness and generosity through self-possession, it often lands heavier than anger ever could. Because anger is predictable. It's what most people expect after a breakup. They expect drama, accusations, long texts laced with hurt and blame. That's the pattern we've all seen, maybe even played out before. But when you choose stillness instead of rage, when you respond with dignity rather than defense, when your generosity isn't loud or performative, but grounded and quiet, it disarms him completely. Generosity, when it comes from a place of clarity, is not a gift to him. It's a gift to your future self. You're telling her you handled this with integrity. You left nothing toxic behind. Now, grace is only half the story, because the most transformative shift comes when you stop looking back entirely and begin standing fully in your own light. And that's where we're headed next.
The inner sovereignty, self-love as a beacon. In the early days, it's easy to focus outward, to fixate on what he's thinking, who he's talking to, what he might be feeling. But that focus drains you. It pulls you further and further away from the one person who truly needs your attention right now. You. Self-love is a phrase that gets thrown around a lot, often reduced to bubble baths and affirmations. And while those things have their place, I'm talking about something deeper. I'm talking about sovereignty. The unshakable sense that your value doesn't come from who stays or who leaves. It's built from within, brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. We orient our entire sense of self around someone else. And when they disappear, we don't just lose the relationship, we lose our compass. But sovereignty is about reclaiming that compass. It's about becoming so deeply rooted in who you are, your values, your rhythms, your joys, that nothing outside of you can shake that foundation. You're not waiting to be chosen. You already chose yourself. It's in the quiet choices, setting boundaries without apology, speaking gently to yourself when the old doubts creep in, protecting your energy like it's sacred, because it is. It's in the way you sit with your sadness without letting it define you, the way you get dressed even when no one's watching, the way you show up for your life, not because someone else might be impressed, but because you are worth showing up for. And here's what happens, not overnight, but slowly, steadily, sovereign. When you become that centered, that steady, that sovereign, your presence shifts. People feel it. He feels it. Whether he reaches out again or stays silent forever becomes irrelevant, because you are no longer orbiting someone else's gravity. You're standing in your own light. And that light, that's the beacon. Not the kind that begs to be noticed, but the kind that glows quietly and powerfully in every room you walk into, even if he's not in it. When was the last time you chose yourself over someone else's comfort? What did it feel like? Tell me in the comments. Someone out there might need to hear your version of strength. And once you've lit that inner beacon, there's one final move. A move that doesn't look like an ending at all, but more like an open page. Number 5. Leaving an open-ended verse, not a period. So many people look for closure as if it's a sentence that needs a final period. They want the clean ending, the satisfying explanation, the moment where everything makes sense. But love, real love, rarely ends that way. And healing doesn't always come in neat lines. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is leave the sentence unfinished. I remember my cousin telling me about a letter he once wrote to someone he never quite stopped loving. He never sent it. It sat folded in the drawer for years. The last line read, "May your laughter remember me kindly." No anger, no desperation, just a wish, a gentle truth that stood quietly on its own. And that's what this final move is about. You don't need to announce your growth, deliver a monologue, or craft the perfect goodbye text. Sometimes the absence of a final message speaks louder than any last word. Because in leaving space, you leave impact. You leave him with a version of you that isn't trying to control the narrative, but one that lets silence do what words never could. This doesn't mean staying stuck in ambiguity or clinging to false hope. Quite the opposite. It's about allowing life to unfold beyond the need for finality. You don't owe him your closure. You owe yourself peace. It's the difference between slamming a door and gently closing it than walking away down a path only you can see. There's something haunting, in a beautiful way, about someone who doesn't beg to be understood. And that's what makes it land. That's what stays with him long after the texts have stopped, the posts have faded, and the world has moved on. Because you didn't burn the bridge, you simply stopped walking on it. Let your final act be one of open-ended grace, a quiet letting go, a verse that ends in a pause, not a period. If you were to leave him with one line, not to send, just to honor what was, what would that line be? Now that we've explored all 5 moves, each one rooted not in manipulation, but in quiet mastery, it's time to look back, not to relive, but to remember who you've become through this, and what kind of strength you've been quietly building all along. We take a moment to look back, not to dwell, but to understand the quiet structure of power you've been building. You've learned to become the silent mirror, letting your absence speak louder than any confrontation. You've started weaving your life into a new tapestry, one that doesn't echo the past, but creates new meaning through independence and purpose. You chose quiet generosity, not to impress him, but to honor the grace within you. You reclaimed inner sovereignty by no longer outsourcing your worth to someone else's presence. And finally, you left him with an open-ended verse, not a dramatic goodbye, but a silence that stays. These aren't just emotional strategies, they're emotional evolution. So what's the real solution for women who want to make a man feel the breakup deeply in a way that lingers? It's this. Stop trying to control his response. Stop chasing closure. Stop trying to be seen. Instead, become the version of yourself that no longer needs to be noticed. Detach with dignity. Live with depth. Let your joy speak louder than your pain. Because that is when regret hits, not when you plead, but when you rise. And when you rise with quiet power, he doesn't just notice, he feels the absence, fully, permanently. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No person is free who is not master of themselves." That's the goal. Not freedom from the breakup, but freedom from needing anything from the one who left. I'll ask you this, which part of this journey spoke to you the most? Was it the stillness, the rebuilding, the release? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice may give someone else the strength to begin their own healing. And if this message resonated with you, like and share this video with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more wisdom like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in your journey. You're not just healing, you're becoming. And that's the kind of story worth following. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video.